There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports. Let go, Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports.
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports. Let go.
What's going on, everybody? It's the EVP from the EVP Show, and we are live for the Raw Recap, live Monday, May 25th, 2026. It is Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day to everyone. Hope you guys had a good day. And we are off and running for Clash in Italy. Been a lot of wrestling this weekend. We had Saturday Night Main Event this past Saturday, and then the AEW pay-per-view was yesterday. So a lot going on. I'm not gonna lie, this was probably the most enjoyable main roster Monday Night Raw that I've seen in a while. For sure, WWE was taking note of the stuff that happened yesterday on AEW. They did put on a good PLE, so WWE is trying to match it. And I mean, I don't blame them. We had a lot of stuff happen tonight on Raw. We're getting ready for Clash in Italy. Obviously, it's just coming up Sunday live on ESPN from Turin, Italy, which is going to be Sunday at 2 p.m. I think it starts at 12 p.m. The pre-show, lunch, noon, and then the main card starts at 2 p.m. Eastern, I believe. So it's going to be early. So I'm looking forward to that. 5 matches on the card. We didn't see Sol Ruka tonight, but they didn't change the match, so looks like she's gonna be good enough to go Sunday, but we'll see. Just a lot of stuff happened tonight on Raw. They, from start to finish, there's a lot of stuff I'm still questionable about. Obviously, Liv Morgan still hasn't had no opponent since WrestleMania, no title defenses. So, I'm a little worried about that, but I know Stephanie's coming back. They're probably setting that up for Night of Champions. So, it was a good show. It was. They did announce that the first hour on ESPN, Cody Rhodes and will be defending the Undisputed Championship against Gunther, and Rhea Ripley will defend the SmackDown Women's Championship against Jade Cargill on the first hour on ESPN. So they're coming out the gates with possibly two great matches, and definitely kind of laid the groundwork for me on how the PLE is going to go. I'm glad that they're saving Sol and Becky for the main card. It'll probably be Brock and Oba opening up the first match on the main on ESPN, and then it'll probably be Sol and Becky, and then they'll probably do Roman and Jacob last. So that looks like the order. Look, to me, that's kind of how they probably will do it. They may open it up with Sol and Becky. Maybe so, but I don't know if they're gonna do Roman. I don't know if they're gonna do Brock and Ova and Roman, Jacob back to back, but they may. We'll see. We'll go ahead and share this. I'm live. Forgot to even post it online. I fixed the Wi-Fi for tonight, so there should be no issues tonight. Except for my Twitter being weird. Oh, my Twitter is not letting me go on it for some reason. Like I said, I don't know what's wrong with it, but there we go. We do have 25 people watching us, so thank you guys for coming in. I know it's Memorial Day, so we will try to get through it tonight. I know there's a space. Carlos has got a space going on right now as well. So, and we have a big week coming up here on the channel. I have the Raw recap obviously tonight. And then the NXT recap will be tomorrow night. And then we have the Clash in Italy prediction show coming up Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys are tuned in to that. And Thursday, I'll be back for the TNA recap. Friday is the Go Home SmackDown, the last SmackDown before the last WWE show before Clash in Italy Sunday. Then I'm off Saturday, and then I'm back Sunday for the Clash in Italy recap show and the LFG recap show later on that night. So then we start a fresh week next week with Raw starting. I believe they advertised it for 2 p.m. Eastern starting next week, and the men's and the women's King and Queen of the Ring tournament will start next week. They'll run that tournament all the way up into Night of Champions, where we'll see a new number one contender for the men and the women. So they kind of started a lot. They've already started the Night of Champions stuff with the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring tournament starting next week on Raw. They're going to be overseas, so it's going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern. Let's go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Raw Recap live here on the EVP Show Monday, May 25th, 2026. And the Raw is coming to you live. This is the post WWE Saturday Night Main Event. Raw is coming to you live from the Schottenstein Center in Columbus, Ohio. This is the post WWE Saturday Night Main Event, and this is the WWE Clash in Italy Go Home Raw. We're going to see the WWE Raw Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns and his opponent for Clash in Italy coming up this Sunday. The Samoan Werewolf Jacob Fatu signed a Clash in Italy contract for Tribal Combat. Plus, the ruler Obafemi will open the show to respond to the Beast Incarnate's Brock Lesnar's sneak attack. We're going to see Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, which we've seen it 4 times already on Raw. But we're saying it wasn't terrible. This is the 4th or 5th time we've had it on Raw, but we're going to see Bayley and Lyra going against the Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez, and the Prodigy, Roxanne Perez. And we're getting a WWE Intercontinental Championship match, which is an absolute banger. Penta will go one-on-one, defending that title against the young OG, Javon Evans. And like I said, the ruler Obafemi will open the show to respond to Beast Incarnate Brock Lesnar's sneak attack. And Raw General Manager Adam Pearce is expecting WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch, which is a backstage segment. And we'll have the contract signing for the Tribal Combat at the end. So the show opens up with Michael Cole and Corey Graves. And when we do go to the inside of the ring, is none other than the Advocate, the Oracle, the Wise Man, whatever you want to call him nowadays. The WWE Hall of Famer Paul Heyman is in the center of the ring, and he introduces himself, welcomes everyone to Raw. Paul says he is here to hype you on a match that absolutely needs no hype. Paul then says the biggest rematch in the history of wrestling will take place on Sunday. Paul Heyman then asks everyone to shut up when he has a mic in his hand. Paul Heyman says Sunday, Obafemi steps into the ring to be conquered by Brock Lesnar. And the crowd was chanting, Oba, Oba. Then we go backstage, or we go to the video package camera or TV, and we get a video package featuring a message from Brock Lesnar. Brock says he didn't get a chance to congratulate Oba for his victory at WrestleMania. Brockton says it will cost you more than you expected. Brockton says he has had his ass whooped, but not like that. Brockton said you beat him so bad, he said he was done at WrestleMania. Brockton says that doesn't sit very well with him. Brockton says it won't end that way. Brockton says he can take an ass whooping, but can you? To Oba. Brockton says you are going to get your ass kicked by a retired beast. So he's still claiming the retired stuff. Brockton says he will conquer Obafemi. Brockton says he will rule over Obafemi. He said he's going to rule over Obafemi. He said he's ready for the rematch in Italy. So then Paul Heyman gets back on the microphone and he says the good news is that everyone watching will get a chance to see history play out in real time in front of your very eyes. Paul Heyman then says the bad news for anyone who worships Obafemi is that Oba has awakened the beast. Paul then says it means one thing. And then the lights go out in the arena and we get the ruler's music. Obafemi, his music hits. He comes on out to the ring. He's not really, I don't think he's strutted tonight. Oba has something in his back pocket. Big, huge pop from the crowd. Oba's super over. So, the crowd went crazy for Oba when he came out. Obafemi gets on the microphone and he says, Paul Heyman says he has awakened the beast. But what did he awaken in him? Obafemi says. Oba then says, what did those... He says to Paul, I know you're going to say this isn't personal, but 4 F5s last week says otherwise, that this was personal for Brock Lesnar and Obafemi. Oba then says, what did those 4 F5s awaken in him? Oba then says he is not going to hurt Paul, because Paul Heyman's over there shivering in the corner. Oba then says he needs Paul alive and well to tell the tale of Brock Lesnar. Oba then says you will fast forward to the end, the part that he likes, when he retires Brock Lesnar for the second time. Oba then says he knows that Paul is a sleeve bag and he will say it's not personal. Oba then says 4 F5s are personal to him. Oba then signs the contract and says this is the final chapter. Oba then tells Paul to tell him that last time he was fighting to beat Brock. Oba then says this time he is fighting to kill Brock. Obafemi then walks off. So we got the match final. He signed the contract for Clash in Italy this Sunday live on ESPN. Obafemi will go against Brock Lesnar for part 2 of Obafemi, because they're definitely going to be a part 3. They put part 2 on the match graphic card. So we're going to take a look back at Saturday night's main event, and we didn't see any title changes. I didn't expect any title changes. WWE doesn't like to have title changes at Saturday night's main event, unless it's a really big show like they're in New York or MSG or something like that. I went 5-0 in my predictions for Saturday night's main event. So Saturday night's main event wasn't terrible. It's the first time in a while that we've seen a lot of wrestling on the PLEs without commercials and stuff. Penta defeated All Ego, Ethan Page, and the best match of the night. Sol Ruka got her first, technically her first main roster win, a disqualification against Becky Lynch. Jay Cargill, Michin, and B-Fab defeated Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss. I'm trying to think what the other matches was. The Visions, Austin Theory and Logan Paul defeated the Street Profits with the help and assistance of Paul Heyman. Logan Paul has torn his bicep and he is out for an unspecified amount of time. So that's 4 matches. I'm trying to think what the 5th one was. So Rhea and them open the card, and then we got Sol and Becky. Then the Intercontinental Championship. I know there's one I'm forgetting. I don't know what it is. Can't remember. Oh well, I'll remember it later on. But that's the matches that happened at Saturday Night Main Event. They went to a video package recapping everything from Saturday Night Main Event. We're then shown the arrival of the World Raw Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns, who is celebrating his birthday today. So happy birthday to Roman Reigns. He was born on Memorial Day, so that's cool. We also see the arrivals of the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu, WWE Hall of Famer, and the new GM of AAA, Rey Mysterio, and then we see the Judgment Day arrive. Penta then makes his way down to the ring for the first match of the night, and he will be defending the Intercontinental Championship against the young OG himself, Javon Evans. So this is the WWE Intercontinental Championship match, Penta versus the young OG, Javon Evans. So the match will start with Javon Evans going for an OG cutter. The Penta moves out of harm's way. Javon then hits a Hurricane Rana. Penta then tries to fight back and he delivers a chop. Javon then hits a drop kick and he follows it up with another Hurricane Rana. Javon then flies over top rope, wiping out Penta. Back in the ring, Penta hits Evans with a super kick and he follows it up with an enziguri. Javon then delivers a kick and he sends Penta to the outside again. Javon then goes for a suicide dive, but Penta sends him into the corner of the desk. Michael Cole then says Javon Evans may have broke his back. They love to really stretch that stuff out. Looked pretty bad, but not like that. Penta then sends Javon into the ring post. He then hits the thunderous chop. Javon then hits Penta with the right hand. Javon then launches himself over the barricade and he takes out Penta. WWE Universe then erupts with the infamous "This is awesome" chant. And this was a phenomenal match. It always is with Penta and Javon. Both of them put on bangers. Both men then barely beat the count back in. Javon then hits a right hand to Penta. Evans then follows it up with the springboard clothesline for a count of 2. Both men then trade chops in the middle of the ring. Javon then hits Penta with the springboard cutter for only 2. Count of 2. Penta then hits Evans with the backstabber for another 2 count. Penta then runs into a kick from Javon. Javon then hits another cutter. Penta is down and out. Then Javon comes off the top rope and Penta hits Evans with the Penta driver for only a count of 2. Penta then heads to the top rope, but Javon meets him on the top turnbuckle. Penta then hits another Hurricane Rana. Penta then hits Javon Evans with a super kick, but Evans fights back. He hits a running knee. Penta then hits a backstabber, and he follows it up with the Mexican Destroyer for the 1, 2, 3. So Penta has retained the Intercontinental Championship fresh off his victory over Ethan Page at Saturday night's main event. And it looks like Penta's going to be defending the Intercontinental Championship at AAA Saturday, which AAA is having a PLE Saturday. So Penta's defending that title. Penta gets the win over Javon Evans. After the match, Penta has some words for Javon. He raises his hand, but Evans brings his hand down and he leaves the ring. So are they teasing some sort of heel turn for Javon? I don't know. So it is announced by Michael Cole and them and Corey Graves that we are told that Logan Paul suffered a torn tricep on Saturday night. He's out indefinitely. Paul Heyman is in the locker room looking at the contract, and Austin Theory, one half of the WWE Raw Tag Team Champions, shows up. He is not happy. Austin then asks Paul what is he supposed to do with the title belt. He looks like he just lost his puppy, which he did. He lost his partner. Austin then asks, does he give it to Paul? Austin is Paul's looking at him and says, what are you talking about? He said, Logan is hurt. Paul Heyman then says he put a clause in every contract that it was the Vision that would be defending the title. So that means the whole Vision. Paul then says Austin will defend the titles from now on until Logan gets back with Brian Breaker. So Paul Heyman put in the contract that the Vision would be defending the tag team. The whole Vision was the tag team champions in case of an injury, so that Austin Theory and Logan Paul don't have to drop the titles. Brian Breaker will be, I didn't even see Brian tonight, but he will be the other half of the tag team champions. So Logan Paul and Austin Theory won't have to vacate the titles. Paul Heyman then says Austin will defend the title to Brian Breaker. Austin then violently hugs Paul Heyman. He's super happy. Paul then says he believes in Austin and he did it for him. Austin then says he wants to do something for Logan Paul. Austin says he wants to take out everyone who hurt Logan. Paul Heyman then says Austin knows what he has to do tonight and to whom. And Austin Theory went on a spree tonight. So we then see Joe Henry, which this is pretty much all he's done since he's been on the main roster in the ring. Joe says he wrote a song to cheer Logan Paul up. Joe Henry then issues an apology to Logan Paul. Joe then says he knows Logan Paul is watching him from the hospital. Joe Henry then says he wants Logan to take a vacation so he can heal in time. Joe then says he doesn't want Logan Paul back at all and says, can we fire Logan Paul? Joe Henry then calls Logan a piece of trash. And then Austin Theory comes out of nowhere and attacks Joe Henry from behind with a steel chair. Austin lays waste to Joe Henry with that steel chair. He nails Joe Henry with several chair shots, and the officials come rushing out to the scene to stop Austin. Well, they didn't stop him because he pretty much beat him down with the chair. But the officials come running out there. Austin Theory laid waste to Joe Henry with that chair, and it won't be the last time that we see Austin Theory tonight with that chair. Austin Theory completely decimated Joe Henry with that chair. So interesting segment there. So we're gonna see Angelo Dawkins walking in the back. Like I said, I don't know if he got written off of TV tonight. It kind of looks like it. He's walking in the back, and Seth Rollins stops him to talk. Obviously, there's been problems with Seth Rollins and the Street Profits, well, mainly Montez Ford. Angelo Dawkins, Seth tells Angelo that he isn't trying to start anything. He did what Montez Ford asked him Saturday. He stayed away from the championship match. Seth then apologized for what happened. Seth then says, with Logan Paul gone, they're the weakest, but now they're the most dangerous. Seth then says, look at what Austin Theory just did to Joe Henry out there. Seth then tells Angelo Dawkins, he says if they come together, they can put an end to the vision for good. Montez Ford walks up, not happy. He shows up and asks if they're doing a redemption arc. Seth then tells Ford to say it to his face. Montez then says, nothing good happens when you are around. Seth then tells Montez, nothing good happens when he isn't around because they should be tag team champions. He then says they don't have to be friends. He then says they just have to work together to get rid of them. He then says he's the only one out of the three that's ever main evented WrestleMania and is the only one to be a multi-time World Heavyweight Champion. Montez Ford then says one thing about it, he isn't any of them things, but he said he's never stabbed his brother in the back. And he asked Seth Rollins, where are your brothers now? Nowhere to be found. Montez says he is his brother's keeper. He then says we should show who is the best tonight. And Seth Rollins said, you want me to have to beat some sense into you? So it is official for tonight on Raw. Seth Rollins will go one-on-one with Montez Ford. So Michael Cole comes on and he says, we are reminded that Raw will air starting Monday. This coming up Monday, the day after Clash in Italy. The Raw will be live at 2 p.m. Eastern on Netflix. It's coming up Monday. Corey Graves then mentions Triple H's show this weekend and the Mask vs. Mask match, which will take place Saturday. So we then see the young OG, Javon Evans, walking in the back, and Penta stops him. Javon Evans apologizes and says he was very unprofessional. He then says he will see Penta for that Intercontinental Championship again. And then we get the future Hall of Famer and the new GM of AAA, Rey Mysterio, then shows up and he asks Penta if he remembers being that age. Rey then says the pride is huge being the Intercontinental Champion. Penta then congratulates Rey on being given the general manager job in AAA. He then says it would be his honor to defend his Intercontinental Championship against Rey Mysterio. Then we get Ethan Page or Adam Pearce and all them. They come up. Well, that's later on in the night. So that was the end of that segment. They just kind of left it standing there, but obviously they go back to it later on when Adam Pearce is back there talking to Rey Mysterio. The Judgment Day make their way down to the ring for the next match of the night, accompanied by the WWE Women's Raw Heavyweight Champion Liv Morgan and Dirty Dominic Mysterio. They will be going, and it's a tag team match against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Like I said, it's going to be Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez going in a tag team match against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. The The match starts off with Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez wasting little time and attacking Bayley and Lyra. Bayley and Lyra now take the fight to both women on Judgment Day. Lyra then slams Roxanne Perez and Bayley tags in, hits a splash in the corner. Lyra then tags in and goes for a pin and gets a count of 2. Roxanne then delivers a punch and then tags Raquel Rodriguez in. Bayley then makes a blind tag and punches Raquel. Lyra then tags in. She hits several shoulders in the corner. Bayley is back in. She punches Raquel. Lyra's back in, and Raquel hits a double crossbody, wiping out both Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Raquel then hits a big splash to Lyra in the corner. She follows it up with a series of elbow strikes. Lyra then hits a dropkick to Raquel. Raquel sends Lyra into the turnbuckle. Roxanne Perez then hits a cheap shot to Lyra behind the referee's back. Raquel then hits a corkscrew splash for a count of 2. Raquel then hits another splash to Lyra in the corner. Roxanne Perez is now the legal woman. She then hits an uppercut and follows it up with a side Russian leg sweep on Lyra for a count of 2. Roxanne Perez then continues to work on the left arm of Lyra. Raquel then applies a bear hug, and Lyra fights out of it. The fight spills to the outside. Lyra Valkyria then sends Raquel into the post, and then sends Roxanne into the announce desk. Bayley then hits a suicide dive, and she takes Roxanne Perez out. Back in the ring, Bayley hits an elbow drop and gets a count of 2. Bayley then goes for a sunset flip, but Raquel counters with a clothesline. Bayley then hits a back suplex to Roxanne, and she follows it up with a sunset flip into the turnbuckle. Bayley then knocks Liv Morgan out on the outside. Liv Morgan was getting involved in this match. She then runs into a clothesline by Raquel. Back in the ring, Lyra hits a kick to Roxanne Perez. And Liv Morgan has been kicked out of the match. So she tried to get up on the ring and cause trouble 2 different times. And the referee has thrown Liv Morgan out of the match. Now she tells Dominic Mysterio to stay there. Dominic tries to get involved. He gets up on the ring and he throws the championship, but his AAA championship, into the ring for Roxanne. Roxanne then hits a pop rock to Bayley, and Lyra breaks the count. Dominic slides the AAA Mega Championship into the ring. Roxanne Perez then accidentally takes Dominic out with an elbow, allowing Bayley to get the roll up for the 1, 2, 3. So Bayley and Lyra Valkyria have pinned Roxanne. She has taken 50 pinfalls on WWE television since she's come up. Over around 52, I believe it is. That's a lot. She takes another pinfall tonight. They just don't have Raquel eat many pins. Roxanne has to eat a lot of pins. But Bayley and Lyra Valkyria get the win tonight. So we then take a look back at what happened last week between the Raw Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns, tonight's his birthday, and the Samoan Werewolf Jacob Fatu. Adam Pearce was sitting back in Roman's locker room. Appreciate you. I didn't even see any comments. Appreciate that. Final Boss Baby, make sure you follow her on X and Talk It Up Podcast. Talk It Up Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. Her and Miami the Great. Make sure you follow them both on X and hit that subscribe button on Talk It Up Wrestling Podcast. Will WrestleMania change its name to WrestlePalooza? No. Thank you. I didn't see the comments until Peter was started talking. Appreciate you coming in. Will WrestleMania change its name to Palooza? No. That Brock and Obafemi, is Brock retired? No, he's not. He's wrestling Sunday. So Adam Pearce is sitting back in Roman Reigns' locker room with him. He tells Roman that Jacob Fatu should be fired. Roman then says he doesn't want to go back to his old ways, but he has to show his stroke around here. Roman then says he didn't know that Jacob Fatu had the wild card, and he didn't know that Jacob knew about tribal combat. Roman then says he cannot back down. Roman then says if Fatu loses, he has to serve him. Roman then says if Jacob Fatu beats him, He said he wishes Adam Pearce and the rest of them luck because they are all screwed. He says, as the tribal chief, I can't ever back down. He speaks to Adam Pearce about the upcoming match against Jacob Fatu Sunday. So we get so that was a good segment. The end was really good as well. We get the annual Memorial Day video package. So like I said, happy Memorial Day to everyone, especially those that served for us in the military. So we get the megastar himself, LA Knight. Yeah, his music hits. He makes his way down to the ring. LA Knight then grabs the mic and starts off by saying it's been a minute since he stood in front of the WWE Universe. LA Knight then wishes everybody a happy Memorial Day. LA Knight then says he has told since WrestleMania that he put the vision in his rearview mirror. He was in that vision vortex for months. LA Knight says he has noticed that the Usos have been doing things a little differently since WrestleMania. LA Knight says he is putting his name in the King of the Ring tournament, which will start next Monday on Raw. We will start the opening round for the men's King of the Ring and the women's Queen of the Ring starting next Monday on Raw. LA Knight says he wants Roman Reigns and the Raw World Heavyweight Championship. LA Knight calls Roman Reigns the most corrupt champion in the WWE, and he is manipulating the Usos. Out comes Jimmy Uso. Jey Uso is not there tonight. He makes his way out, and he tells LA Knight he's got a lot of respect for him. Jimmy then says he fought side by side with him at WrestleMania 42. Jimmy then says LA Knight talks about being a victim of the bloodline. Jimmy then says it's not like that anymore. Jimmy then tells LA Knight he will get a fair shot at the WWE World Heavyweight Championship if he wins the King of the Ring tournament. LA Knight then calls Jimmy a third fiddle to Roman Reigns, and the last thing he wants him to become is Roman Reigns' errand boy. Jimmy then says he has heard enough. Jimmy then says Jey Uso is not here tonight, otherwise he would be treating this differently. Jimmy then says if it were him, he would tread lightly. Jimmy then says the bloodline will become his business if LA Knight continues to talk trash about his family. LA Knight says Roman Reigns needs his family because he cannot get the job done. LA Knight promises to put the bloodline out of business. LA Knight tells Jimmy to send that message to his tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Interesting promo. Triple H usually has something for LA Knight to do around King of the Ring and Money in the Bank, but LA Knight's been to the finals, I believe, before of the King of the Ring tournament. He's gotten close. I don't think LA Knight's winning the King of the Ring. I don't know who's in the tournament. I would have to look at the brackets, but I definitely don't think LA Knight's winning it. I think somebody like a Seth or Oba or somebody like that makes a lot of sense. Maybe Randy, I don't know. Maybe Gunther if he doesn't win the title Sunday, which doesn't really look good if you're a Gunther fan with them kicking the show off. Can't see Cody dropping the title, but on the first match. But we'll see. LA Knight walks off. He throws the microphone down, and Jimmy Uso is thinking about what some of the stuff that LA Knight said to him. So going to be interesting to see how this story plays out. We then see Rey Mysterio in the back again, and Adam Pearce. He's talking to Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce says he likes the idea of Rey Mysterio and Penta. He tells them congratulations on being the GM of AAA. Ethan Page then shows up, and he wants to know what is going on. Ethan Page said, you gave Javon a Intercontinental Championship match tonight, and now you're talking about giving Ray an Intercontinental Championship match? Ethan Page said, where is my rematch? Adam Pearson says Ethan Page needs to earn his rematch. And he says that Ray is a Hall of Famer. Then we get Rusev. He shows up. Ethan Page tells Rusev that Adam Pearce and Rey Mysterio are conspiring against him and him getting a shot at the Intercontinental Championship. He then says Rey is going to jump the line on Rusev. Rusev then says he wants to know how Rey Mysterio earned the match. Rey then asks if he has to face Rusev to earn a title match against Penta. He said if he does, then sign him up. So Adam Pearson books a match between Rusev and Rey Mysterio Jr. Rey Mysterio to be the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship match for Penta's title. So we're getting Rey Mysterio and Rusev tonight also. So we go to the next matchup of the night. It's going to be Seth Rollins. He makes his way down to the ring in a one-on-one match against Montez Ford. You can see the crowd get up on Seth Rollins' music hit as well. So the match starts off with both men locking up. Both men then get into a shoving match. Montez Ford applies a side headlock. Seth Rollins fights out of it, and he hits a shoulder tackle. Montez Ford then applies another side headlock, and he follows it up with a shoulder tackle. Seth Rollins then pounds away at Montez Ford. Montez Ford then runs into a big boot. Seth Rollins then hits a suicide dive, driving Montez Ford into the barricade. Montez then sends Seth over the top rope, and he hits a suicide dive. Both men then run into each other. Seth Rollins then hits a big splash in the corner. But Montez Ford fires back and hits Rollins with a neck breaker for a count of 2. The fight then goes to the outside. Seth Rollins then hits a knee right to the back of his opponent. Back in the ring, Montez Ford hits Seth Rollins with a knee to the midsection. He then follows it up with a splash for a count of 2. Both men then exchange strikes in the middle of the ring. Montez Ford then hits a series of shots to the back of Seth Rollins, and he follows it up with a standing clothesline. Montez Ford then goes for a standing moonsault, but Seth Rollins moves out of harm's way. Seth Rollins hits a superplex, and he follows it up with the Falcon Arrow for only a count of 2. Seth Rollins then goes for a pedigree, but Montez Ford counters with a super kick. Seth Rollins then hits Montez Ford with the super kick. And then Seth Rollins hits Montez Ford with a pedigree, but Montez kicks out at 2. So then Montez slaps Seth across his face. Seth Rollins is pissed. He hits Montez with a buckle bomb, and he follows it up with a second one. Seth goes for yet another buckle bomb, but Montez sends him outside the ring. Montez then launches himself over the top turnbuckle, taking out Seth Rollins. Back in the ring, Montez gets Seth in the ring, goes up top, and he hits a frog splash off the top rope for only a count of 2. Montez then hits another super kick, and he hits the top rope, but he misses the 450 splash off the top rope. And then Seth Rollins hits a stomp for the 1, 2, 3. So Seth Rollins has defeated Montez Ford. It was a classic match, a really good match. So the winner of the singles match is the Visionary himself, Seth freaking Rollins. After the match, Austin Theory is shown, and Angelo Dawkins is shown coming out of Gorilla and out to the arena. And Austin Theory is right behind him, attacking him with a steel chair on the stage. Austin Theory hits Angelo Dawkins a couple of times with that steel chair. And then he gets onto he falls onto the ground, and then Austin Theory does a vicious, well, he missed him, but he botched the hit. But it was supposed to look like a vicious headshot by Austin Theory with that steel chair on Angelo Dawkins. And the officials come running out, and they tell Austin Theory to leave, and he's staring at Seth Rollins and Montez Ford in the ring. So Austin Theory has taken Joe Henry and Angelo Dawkins out with the steel chair tonight. Like I said, looks like they might be writing Angelo off for a little while. So we then see, we then see Byron Saxton. Some may not have seen this, but depends on what Netflix find you have. We see Byron Saxton. He is talking to Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, who secured a victory earlier against Judgment Day, Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez, and he asked about their win. Bayley says they feel great. Bayley then says they love to win, but they have won and lost in the past. Bayley then says the Judgment Day have cheated in the past. Bailey then says nothing matters anymore. Bailey then says pound for pound, inch by inch, and match by match, they have been the best tag team in the division. Bailey then says they ain't stopping there. Lyra Valkyria then says she doesn't care who lost faith in them. Lyra then says they want the tag titles and they're not going away. Lyra then says they will keep on coming until they have success. Byron Saxton then mentions the Queen of the Ring. It does start next Monday live on Raw, 2 p.m. Eastern. Lyra says she almost won the tournament 2 years ago. Bailey then says she has never been in one before. So I guess Bailey's never been in a Queen of the Ring tournament. But she has won everything else besides the Queen of the Ring. So good interview segment. I guess Bailey and Lyra will both be in the Queen of the Ring tournament. We then see Montez Ford, and he is backstage checking on his brother Angelo Dawkins. He asked Adam Pearce about his brother. Adam Pearce says the medical team is working on Angelo Dawkins. Seth Rollins shows up. He's holding his ribs gingerly to ask Montez if Angelo is okay. Montez says they have bigger fish to fry. Montez then says his brother is out, so he needs someone to help him. Seth then says, this has to end. He said, who, us? Montez said, yes, us. Seth then is talking to Byron Sexton, or I think it was Byron Sexton, somebody back there. Seth then says, this has to end. He then says he has to cut the head off the snake. Seth Rollins tells Adam Pearce that he wants Braun Breaker and he wants him ASAP. And Adam Pearce tells Seth Rollins that he's going to go talk to Paul Heyman. I don't think it's going to happen at the PLE, but it probably will happen Monday, hopefully. It is then announced that Cody Rhodes will open the Undisputed SmackDown Heavyweight Champion, will open the Clash in Italy PLE in Turin starting at 2 p.m. Eastern live. And the first hour will be live on ESPN. He will open the show and defend the Undisputed Championship against the career killer himself, Gunther. And then Rhea Ripley will defend the Women's SmackDown Championship. And she will also be on the first hour of the Clash in Italy PLE on ESPN. She will be defending against Jade Cargill. So then I see Kathy Kelly, and she is in the back. She is backstage with the Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch, who will defend that title, as far as I know, against Sol Ruca coming up Sunday in Turin and Clash in Italy. Kathy Kelly mentions that Sol is injured after what happened Saturday night's main event, so that doesn't look good. But they didn't call the match off. So Becky then says some people get punched in the face and become the face of the industry. Becky then says some get punches in the face and they show that they don't belong. Becky then says some might be impressed with her flips and tricks, but she has not won a match yet. Becky then says there is a difference between striving for greatness and standing across from it. She says, I will hold this title forever. Talking in her interview with Kathy Kelly about her match coming up this Sunday live in Turin, Italy. I'm pretty sure that I'm thinking that match may kick off the show on the ESPN Unlimited app. So then Rey Mysterio makes his way down to the ring for the number one contender match for the Intercontinental Championship. But Ethan Page is also coming down to the ring. He will be on commentary for the match as Rey goes one-on-one with the Bulgarian Brute himself, Rusev. So the match starts off with both men locking up. Rusev then shoves Rey Mysterio. Rey goes for a 619 but misses. Rey then slaps Rusev across the face. Rey then hits a Hurricane Rana, and he goes for a 619, but Rusev hits an elbow and follows it up with a snap suplex. Rusev then hoists Rey Mysterio up over his head, but Mysterio fights out of it, and he hits Rusev with a sunset flip. Rey then goes for another Hurricane Rana, but Rusev catches him mid-air and sends him into the barricade. Rusev then sends Rey Mysterio into the steel steps. Then it goes back into the ring. Rusev continues to beat down on Rey. Rusev then hits a splash and Rey in the corner. Both men are now up on the top rope. And then Rey Mysterio hits a senton and he follows it up with another Hurricane Rana. Rey Mysterio hits several right hands to Rusev. and then hits a moonsault for only a count of 2. Rusev then catches Mysterio midair and slams him down to the mat. Rusev then hits his finisher, the Machka kick, but Rey Mysterio kicks out at 2. Rusev then goes for his finisher, the Machka kick, not one of his finisher, but he goes for his primetime finisher, which is the Accolade, but Rey Mysterio hits the 619 to the midsection. Rey Mysterio then goes for another one, but Rusev intercepts. And then Rey Mysterio gets a roll-up on Rusev for the 1, 2, 3. So the future WWE Hall of Famer, Rey Mysterio, gets the victory over Rusev. He is now the #1 contender for Penta's Intercontinental Championship match. After the match, Rusev attacks Rey Mysterio. Ethan Page comes in and joins the fray to attack Rey Mysterio, and out comes Dragon Lee. He has made his way back to WWE Raw television. He makes his way out to send both men out of the ring. Mysterio then hits a 619 to Rusev. Dragon Lee then hits Rusev with an Operation Dragon, and Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio stand tall. So welcome back to Monday Night Raw, Dragon Lee. So that we go backstage with Adam Pearce, and he tells Austin Theory that he has done enough and his night is over. Austin Theory then says he is the champ. He then says it isn't enough what happened to Logan Paul, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker. Paul Heyman then says Austin needs to be reprimanded and he will take care of it. And then they have been teasing something with Maxine and the Vision for about a month now. A couple of backstage segments where they kind of shown Austin Theory, Logan Paul in the back, and Austin was talking to Maxine. Then we seen Maxine in the back of their SUV. So we see Otis, Akira Tozawa, and Maxine standing in the hall, and Maxine and Austin Theory give a look to each other. So something is definitely shaking there. We should see something materialize with that in the coming weeks. Otis tells, he says something smells like bad news, and Maxine said that it's okay. He's had a rough couple of weeks or something like that. And then she tells Otis and them she will catch up to them later. So something's definitely cooking there with Maxine and the Vision. So we take a look at what happened last week between Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. Obviously, it was the return to Brock Lesnar. Everybody thought he was retired. Brock Lesnar comes out during the open challenge segment that Obafemi was supposed to have last week, and he came out and wrecked Obafemi and hit him with 4 F5s. So they showed everything that went down last week with Oba and Brock. It is then announced that next week on Raw, the men's King of the Ring and the women's Queen of the Ring tournament will start next Monday on Raw. There's no matches that were announced. Obviously, we're going to see LA Knight. So we're going to see Bayley and Lyra as well. So we will go to the main event segment of the night. Shout out to the 144 people that's watching live. Adam Pearce is now in the ring with a table, chairs, microphone, and a contract. So then out comes the challenger in the main event in Tribal Combat. Sunday enter in Italy, Clash of Italy. It is the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu. His music hits, and he makes his way down to the ring. Then see security and ringside to prevent the two men from having another brawl. Adam Pearson hands Jacob Fatu the Clash in Italy contract. Fatu then puts pen to paper to make things official. Jacob Fatu now tossing furniture at the security guards. He's already losing his mind in there. And then we get the music of the Raw Heavyweight Champion, the birthday boy himself, Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. He makes his way down to the ring, and big, huge ovation from the crowd in Columbus, Ohio. Roman Reigns gets on the microphone. Well, first he signs the contract, and the match is official for Sunday. And there goes my notes. Sorry, guys. I don't know why my phone does this crap all the time. It is official. Sunday. Gotta get all the way back down. Sorry, guys. It is official in the main event. Roman Reigns will defend the Raw Heavyweight Championship against Jacob Fatu. Getting back to my notes, guys. Sorry. It's a lot happened tonight on Raw. It's a good show. All right. So Roman comes out. Huge pop from the crowd. Roman signs a contract. The match is official. Roman Reigns and tells Adam Pearce that Jacob Fatu made a blood pact last week, so he can't touch him before Clash in Italy. It is part of the heritage for the tribal combat match. You can't put your hands on the other one until the matches takes place Sunday. He tells Adam Pearce to leave them alone in the ring. Adam Pearce says you heard him, and him and the security leave the ring. Roman Reigns and tells Jacob Fatu. Well, first he gets on the microphone and he says, Columbus, Ohio, acknowledge me. And the crowd acknowledges Roman. Roman Reigns and tells Jacob Fatu that was all he had to do was acknowledge him, and the bloodline could have moved on to the next mission. Jacob Fatu then says he's not like everyone else. Jacob Fatu then says, acknowledge you? Hell no. Jacob Fatu then says, Roman Reigns, you are the reason that the bloodline is living the life they have, and it is at the top of the mountain. Jacob Fatu then says, Roman Reigns took them to the promised land. Jacob Fatu then says, it's time for a change. Jacob Fatu then says, Roman Reigns bent the rules at Backlash to beat him. Jacob Fatu then says, anything goes in tribal combat. He will dog walk Roman Reigns' bitch ass. Roman Reigns and tells Jacob Fatu that if he wins that Clash in Italy, he will become the new head of the table, and he will be forced to follow him. Roman Reigns says, if Jacob Fatu can't dog walk him, as he said, then he will make him walk like a dog. He will, and Jacob Fatu will serve him. Jacob Fatu then says, he said, well, Jacob Fatu says, well, then it's a win-win for me, because he said, if you're able to beat me, then I will still have my job after the Clash in Italy, regardless of the result. Jacob Fatu then said, if he dog walks his ass, Roman Reigns will learn how to acknowledge him. Then both men, Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu, do the tribal combat handshake and the head touching. And then the show comes to a close. Sorry, guys. So that was your show, guys. Like I said, it was a very good Raw tonight. We got a lot of storyline with things that's cooking. We saw, obviously, it looked like Angelo Dawkins, like I said, was written off of TV. Logan Paul is out with the bicep tear. Looks like he's going to be out 4 to 6 months, something like that. Maybe longer, I don't know. I haven't got any word on that, but we got a lot of storyline progression. We've seen LA Knight, obviously, still in the bullet. It's talking about the bloodline stuff and how he thinks he's going to win the King of the Ring. And then we also seen Bayley and Lyra beat the Judgment Day, and they're moving on, hoping to get a shot at the Tag Team Championship. And obviously, the Women's Queen of the Ring, which Bayley says she's never won or never been in. That's shocking that she's never been in the tournament. But, and then everything that's leading up to, they're already starting progression for the King of the Ring. and the Queen of the Ring, which will start next Monday on Raw. And the build for the main event, Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu, was really good. We didn't see Jay tonight, but I expect we'll probably see everybody for that tribal combat match in Italy, because it is in the main event. So something big, looks like something big is going to happen in that main event. So it was really good Raw. Like I said, they answered well. I knew that Raw was going to be banging tonight. AEW had a really good pay-per-view last night, so I figured that Monday Night Raw was going to come out, or WWE was going to come out swinging tonight. We saw some good matches with Ray and Rusev and Penta and Javon Evans. And the women's tag team match wasn't terrible. So everything flowed really good tonight. It was definitely a good show. We are on the road to Clash in Italy, guys. Before I go to the outro, just want to make sure you guys, if you are watching live on YouTube tonight, please hit that like button on the stream. It definitely helps me out and my YouTube channel out for the algorithm. We also have 150 people watching live. We are live on my X page as well, and we're live on DWE television page. And if you guys tuned in earlier to the rundown with Kyle the Man Anthony and the World of Greg, make sure you check that out. It is on DWE television X page, and make sure you give DWE television a follow on X as well, and Talking Up Wrestling podcast on YouTube. Give them a subscription on YouTube. That is Miami the Great and Final Boss Baby. Make sure you follow them both on X and give Talk It Up Podcast a subscription on YouTube. Also, definitely give World of Greg and Kyle the Man Anthony. DWE Television announced a couple of new people that have joined us. I don't personally know their names yet. I don't have them memorized, but they are on. The post was made today, so make sure you follow them as well. And make sure you follow Director Reg, Kyle the Man Anthony, the World of Greg, After Slam Podcast. You can follow him on X and YouTube as well as the Smoke Sessions podcast. So we have a lot of stuff going on with DWE. So definitely glad to be a part of that. And welcome to the new members that came in. I haven't been really active in the chat. Like I said, I just got here. So but hopefully you guys enjoyed the Raw recap live here on the EVP show, May 26th. Is it May 26th yet? I believe it's May 26th, 2026. A lot of sixes there. But I will be back shortly to tell you guys where you can find me on my socials, what I have coming up for you guys the rest of this week.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go, Show Recap Prediction Sports.
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go.
Once again, thank you guys, and happy Memorial Day to everyone that tuned in to the Raw Recap Show tonight live here on the EVP Show. Hopefully you guys had a happy Memorial Day and you guys enjoyed Monday Night Raw, as we are off and running on the road to Clash in Italy this coming up Sunday in Turin, Italy at 2 p.m. Eastern, live on ESPN. The first hour will be live on ESPN, and then the rest of the show will be live on the ESPN Unlimited app or on your cable provider. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the Raw recap. Like I said, if you guys are watching live on my YouTube channel, please hit that like button. And if you guys watch the stream later on, please make sure to hit that like button on the stream and leave your comments and tell me what you guys thought of Monday Night Raw tonight, the last Raw before Clash in Italy coming up Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. So as far as where you can find me on my socials, it's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. All my links are in my bio. So if you find any of my social media platforms, you will see my YouTube page, especially my X page, is pinned all the way at the top. And then my YouTube page is pinned in it is in the links of the bio on my Instagram and my TikTok. You can find me on X, on my X page at EVPCJP. Make sure to follow me on X. And if you do, You can go all the way up to the top of my page, and my YouTube page is pinned at the top. I'm still sitting at 224 subscribers, so my goal is to try to get to 300 by SummerSlam. So give me a follow on X. I'll definitely give you a follow back. I know it's kind of limited. A lot of stuff changed on X, so I can't follow like 100 people back in the day, but I definitely will check and give you a follow back. You can find me on Instagram. Also, it's a business account, but you can find me on there at EVPCJP as well. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. You can take a look at all the videos of Miami the Great and World of Greg make me for the upcoming streams that I put out. Pretty much I've been going, I had Saturday off, but it's pretty much working the rest of this week and obviously up until Saturday. About 10 or 12 out of the 14 days. So a lot of content coming your way. So we're on the back half of it now. We've already been through a whole week. So we're going to finish out this week strong and then go back to the regular schedule next week. But you can find me on Instagram, like I said, at EVPCJP. It's in lowercase as well. You can find me on TikTok at Brady the Goat 21. That's at Brady at BRADY DA Goat 21. Last but not least, and most importantly, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like I said, you can find my YouTube channel on any of those social media platforms. But for some reason, if you can't find my YouTube channel and you are looking for it, you can go to the search bar up in the top corner of the screen, search with the magnifying glass, and type in at the EVP Show. Once you type that in, you'll find my channel, and you'll see over 900 plus live videos, as well as a lot of YouTube shorts, as well as a couple of live pre-recorded videos on there for you guys. So what I have coming up next, I will be back tomorrow night, Tuesday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the NXT Recap Show. And then you guys set your reminders and come join us Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, as I will be joined by 9 others at 7 p.m. Eastern Wednesday for the Clash in Italy prediction show. You guys come in, join us. Put your predictions in the comments as we go through all 5 matches at Clash in Italy this coming Sunday. Pretty much the same panel from Saturday Night's Main Event prediction show, but we have a strong card, so I'm sure everyone's going to have a lot of opinions on the upcoming matches in Clash in Italy. So hit that notification bell and come join us and put your Clash in Italy predictions in the comments as we go through all the matches at 7 p.m. Eastern live Wednesday night. And then I'm back Thursday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the TNA Recap Show. And then Friday night, it is the last SmackDown before Clash in Italy. What will they have in store? Will it be better? And I believe it is the last 3-hour SmackDown until January. So come join me at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time live Friday night on the SmackDown Recap Show. And then this coming up Saturday, I am off. Come back next Sunday for the last day of the month of May and the 6th week in a row of doubleheader Sunday. Come join me at there will not be no Sunday night scoops. There will not be any more of them for the month of May. But you can join me at 6 p.m. Eastern Time live Sunday for the Clash in Italy Recap Show. And then come back later Sunday night to conclude the month of May and the doubleheader Sunday, the 6th doubleheader Sunday at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time for LFG Season 3 Episode 6 Recap Show. So that is the schedule for the rest of the week. Hope you guys will tune in to the NXT Recap tomorrow or the big Clash in Italy prediction show Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Once again, thank you all to everyone that came out to watch the Monday Night Raw Recap Show live here on the EVP Show. That being said, I hope you guys had a happy Memorial Day and transition back into the regular work week tomorrow. And you guys tune in live at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night for my NXT recap show. That being said, I am the EVP from the EVP show and the golden boy of DWE, and DWE is the place to be. Hope you guys have a happy Tuesday, Dinger Tuesday for Major League Baseball. And I will see you guys back tomorrow night live here on the EVP show at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the NXT recap show. Good night, and see you guys tomorrow night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for the NXT recap show. Good night, everyone.